What's up, guys? Major Krim here for Sleepers for the Week, and today I have an anime review for you. This is Berserk Season 2? We're going to call it Season 2. This is the 2016 Berserk anime review. Let's just get one thing out the way. The most disappointing thing about this series is the animation. We can just go ahead and agree on that the animation across the board was not received well by fans in general. The animations are a little less to be desired. It's CG'd, it's cel-shaded looking, it looks like Legend of Zelda Wind Waker with a little bit more lines drawn into it. The biggest complaint I've heard from the fan base, and they have a right to be upset because the manga itself is drawn beautifully. It looks amazing. One of the few manga that I actually picked up and read myself, because I'm not really big on reading manga, so a lot of where my viewpoints come from are from basically just the anime, but that was the first anime that ended on such a cliffhanger that I had to continue reading the manga to see where it was going to go. And the manga is illustrated beautifully. It looks amazing. This will be completely spoiler free, so I'm not going to spoil anything except for the fact that if you've not seen anything or heard anything about Berserk, or if you've heard of it and you're looking for a place to start with the movies. Now, I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me on that, but if you want to get into the series and you want to see how everything connects, the original series is great. My suggestion to you, though, is if you want to start this new series, the movies tie it together. Because let's just say the original series ends on a cliffhanger, and we've been waiting to continue that cliffhanger for so long. Now, as a fan of Berserk, do I like this new series? And I have to say, yes, I do. I love this new series. I love that it's getting a continuation. I love that we're seeing this get more attention. I hope that it keeps gaining attention, but I have to say this, that while I was watching the series, it was so hard to recommend it to people because everyone was bashing the animation so hard. And the animation's not that bad. Like, it's something you have to get used to, and I wish it was something different myself personally, but I'm not going to let that stand in the way of me watching the rest of the story, getting the rest of the Berserk story. So the music is super intense. This is a very dark anime. Where this anime takes place in the story is very dark and gloomy and brooding. So you have a mixture of really intense, almost horror influenced orchestral pieces, and then you have metal music. You have metal music, which I am actually a big fan of. I love metal, and I like seeing that incorporated in action sequences. Like, there are certain things that happen where all of a sudden you hear the guitar rip in, and it's just like, it's this massive, just like heavy metal, like sludge guitar, just you know, going in, and just when Guts is like tearing up stuff and he's fighting, and you hear some of that kick in. That is awesome. I enjoy that a lot. Some people don't. I've heard people knock on the music, saying that the music isn't even that good. But I like it. I dig it. It sets the mood perfectly. Like, when I got done watching this part of the series, because I know about what the story is, I know kind of where it sits. It's dark. It's a dark story, and it needs dark music to accompany that. And it's, to me, I think it goes hand in hand. And I really enjoyed the soundtrack to this season a lot. Now let's dive into the story. How good is the story? Because everyone here is like, hey, you tell me that the animation sucks, but the story's worth it. So is it worth it? I think so. They did cut out a couple of arcs in the manga, but they don't have a direct reference to what's going on. They kind of skip through two of the smaller arcs and they jump right into the conviction arc, which is okay for me. I don't mind that. Some people wanted to see some of that. I wouldn't have mind seeing the Black Swordsman arc in like a OVA or an OVA. I wouldn't have mind seeing that. I thought that would be pretty cool. There's still time to do that, because technically you can, because it really doesn't fit. It's just kind of something in between. And I think that's why they skipped those things. So the story-wise, though, storyline, the conviction arc is crazy. It's a little bumpy in the beginning. It's a little slow because they're trying to connect everything together. They're trying to see how everything falls into place. But once it falls into place and you start seeing the conviction arc pop in, phenomenal. Like it's got a little bit of a slow start, but once it kicks in and it's fantastic. I'm loving it. And the action and everything in between is on par. There's some stuff that are almost scene for scene from the manga. I love it. It gets dark, and I'm going to emphasize this very strongly, that if you like Game of Thrones and you know how dark Game of Thrones can get, take that and dial it to 5, and that's Berserk. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, you'll dig it. But if that's something you're not interested in, if Game of Thrones was too much for you, this might be too much for you. Berserk is as much of a medieval fantasy heroic journey as it is a terrifying nightmare induced trip. Like, that's the best way to put it. It's a fantasy tale that has a lot of horror elements in it, that has a lot of darkness in it, but there's always like that little bit of hope, that little smidge of hope, and just seeing what these characters have to overcome is just awesome. It's empowering. It makes you feel like that no matter how dark your life gets or how dark a situation is, that you can power through it, that you can get through it, that even though we're human, we can still conquer demons, and we can still fight stuff that we think that we can't fight. We can still get through things in our lives that we think that is impossible to get through. Guts is one of those characters that makes you feel that way. It makes you feel powerful, makes you feel like that you can do something even though you're just a measly little human, a speck in the universe. That's what this anime makes me feel, and that's what I like. That's the tone of it. Now, like I said, it does get dark. It gets very dark, but the characters put it all together. They bring it all together, and the story is fantastic. And like I said, with the story, with this being in place, like no spoilers, watch those 3 movies. There are 3 movies that are the entire Golden Age arc, which is basically the beginning. It's what basically is what lets you know what's going on. Watch that. Watch those 3 movies, and by the end of those 3 movies, when I'll say this, it's not a spoiler, you get to the 3rd movie, it sets the tone for the rest of the series. After the end of the 3rd movie, the tone is set, and you know what you're getting yourself into, and that's that. If you watch those 3 movies and you get to the 3rd movie and you don't like it, you may not like the rest of the series. But I highly suggest that you check it out. I highly suggest you go through it because the story is fantastic. So I would suggest for you guys that if you haven't watched the movies, watch the movies, get caught up. They're not that expensive. You can find them on Amazon for pretty cheap. You can find them all in a collection now, I think for like between $25 to $38. I'm going to say that range. I'll have a link to the collection in the description box below. But you can basically buy all 3 movies together in a trilogy set, and I highly recommend it. It's a classic. It's good to watch and to get the backstory, and you're going to need it for this show. So if you're thinking, nah, I'll skip the movies, don't. You want the movies. The movies set everything up. You kind of need them to enjoy, to me, you kind of need them to fully enjoy the series, in my opinion. So all in all, because of the animation, I'm going to have to give this one a 7 out of 10. This one is going to be a 7 out of 10 for me, guys. It is great. The story is fantastic. The animation is kind of lacking. I feel like it could be better. I feel like it will be once they get more traction and they get more popularity, maybe more money. They need more funding. Whoever's funding Berserk, whoever's trying to make this happen, make it happen more. Share it, enjoy it, pass it around, get them some money, guys. Get these guys some money so they can make something other than Wind Waker edition. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, they got that Berserk game that's out too for PS4 that I haven't played. It's pretty much Dynasty Warriors meets Berserk. It looks amazing, and to me that means that they're getting a little bit of traction. They're getting a little bit more known because, I mean, you've got a PS4 game, you've got these new seasons coming out on Crunchyroll. I just hope it gets better. That's my assessment for now. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you like it, hit the like button, smash it, pass it, share it out to your friends, comment down below and let me know what you think. And if you want to see more content, give me a subscribe. And I love you guys so much. This is Major Kramer Sleepers for the week. Peace.